Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special guest, Sarah Morgan Walker, a proud Mrs. South Africa. Sarah is a wife, mom of three, business leader, and passionate advocate for women, children, and animal rescue. In this exclusive interview, she shares her inspiring journey to the Mrs. South Africa stage, the causes close to her heart, and what empowerment truly means in today's world. Stay tuned as we dive into a story of strength, grace, and purpose. You won't want to miss this conversation. Sarah, how are you?
Hi, I'm so well. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here.
Likewise, my opening question to you is, Sarah, what inspired you to enter Mrs. South Africa 2025, and how does this platform align with your personal values and passions?
Thank you for that question. I have been asked something similar quite a few
Mhm.
times. So I actually didn't enter Mrs. South Africa because it came up one day. I was approached by a mentor for 3 years in a row, asking me to enter. The first year I was asked, it wasn't the right timing. My husband actually was entering South African champs for powerlifting. So obviously we couldn't have two South African competing parents at one time because we've got three daughters. So it
Mhm.
wasn't the right time. But anyway, third time lucky because this year I said yes. I believe in the power of women to create real, lasting impact in their families, communities, and beyond. And I think this platform, Mrs. Africa, celebrates women in all their dimensions, wearing all their hats, namely wives, mothers, leaders, sisters, aunts, friends, and change makers. Um, in terms of how it aligns with my values, etc., I think people in general have a misconception about Mrs. Africa and pageants. Look, I can't speak for all pageants. I can only speak for Mrs. Africa because it's my experience that I can reflect on. It is a competition and it is a platform whereby you are upskilled. It is definitely not what someone would think of as a traditional pageant. It's not a yay, let's put on our pretty dresses and walk down the runway and smile. It's not that. It is daily work. We have to post
Mhm.
twice per sponsor a month. We've got 16 sponsors, and that's over and above our own sponsors that we sign up, that we have to keep happy on social media, as well as at our fundraisers and our events. So it is hard work. Having said that, we are upskilled. We're given wonderful sessions with Harry from Action Coach. And we've been given lots of training on social media by one of the management team. I mean, if you look at my posts from this time last year compared to now, there is so much that I've learned. And so, yeah, those are just two small things that we've been upskilled in. There's many, many more things and life lessons in general, but it aligns with my values of service, resilience, and empowerment, while giving me the opportunity to use my voice for causes close to my heart. Things like I've been teaching basic art to 4-year-olds in a local township for the last 4 years, which is not something I talk about until this. My heart is not to talk about the good I do. That's not why I do it. And I've been doing stuff like this since I was a little girl. My mom raised me like this, and my sister. And I do it with my girls. I take them to the Westfall Baby House once a year or once or twice a year, just to interact with the children, understand life, give them a perspective, and help them to understand that the big, big pillar of life is service and to give back. But going back to my 4-year-olds that I've been teaching, they are the same children who got to enjoy the Color Powder Fun Run event, which was a fundraiser I did for Mrs. Africa a month ago. The pictures are on Facebook, so please, and Instagram, please take a chance to go look at them. They really are amazing. You can see the joy on the children's faces. And there, I love the synergy that can be had with Mrs. Africa and my life. And I do believe if your heart is right and you have faith and trust in God, these things can happen whilst you're on this journey with Mrs. Africa.
You're a leader in both your family business and a modeling and talent agency. How do you balance these roles while pursuing the Mrs. South Africa journey?
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot. In fact, that was one of my questions in the you get interviewed. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
people know that, but you get interviewed as part of the Mrs. Africa process for semi-finals, which was back in July.
Okay.
I think for me, balance comes from intention and passion. Passion for excelling in what I'm doing, and passion for keeping the people close to me happy. I'm
Mhm.
deeply committed to both business and people. So I approach both roles with with focus and discipline. I think also having a strong support system, clear priorities, and a belief that women can excel in multiple spaces allows me to balance my responsibilities while embracing this incredible Mrs. Africa journey. Something I have had to, I think, just let go of is my tendency to try to be perfect. Um, so a funny story on the recent Mrs. South Africa Lifestyle Challenge that we went away on to Ponteval in the Val. Um, One thing people know about me is I always have a perfect set of nails. So
Mhm.
it sounds very shallow, I know, but it is something that if my nails aren't right,
Mhm.
I'm not right.
Hmm.
And anyway, we were doing, I think it was the park run. We were made to do a park run, and it was good. It was good to get out in the fresh air and get some exercise and everything. But I was coming around a corner and I grabbed onto a tree because I tripped over a rock and I broke one of my nails. And there was nothing I could do about it while we were out in the Vaal. So for the rest of all the photo shoots, we did 7 in 3 days. I had this broken nail, and I either had to just accept it, or it was going to get to me, and I wasn't going to bring my full 100% to the photo shoots. So that kind of thing, like letting go of perfectionism on the outside, but also on the inside. So my family has found the journey tough, specifically my husband. And so whilst I might be smiling on stage, doesn't necessarily mean everything's perfect at home. It's been challenging. Um, and I can understand from his side why it's been hard. I get a lot of attention, and it's natural, but in the same breath, it must be very hard for a partner and I know that it is hard because last year when he did South African powerlifting championships, I was the one sitting in the audience watching him on stage and watching the women's faces around me. Um, so yeah, I think that, and then I focus hard on being self-aware. So things like procrastination, I am quite bad with. Um, so I do try and do to-do lists. I do try and do monthly calendars just to keep myself on top of my workload. But it's about being self-aware, about being honest with yourself.
Your advocacy for vulnerable babies, mothers, and animal rescue is remarkable. How do you hope to use the Mrs. South Africa platform to amplify these causes?
And so those causes are very close to my heart. Vulnerable babies, youth, and mothers need protection and support, and animals deserve compassion and care. The Mrs. South Africa platform gives me a louder voice and a broader reach to raise awareness, build partnerships, and mobilize resources so that we can make tangible differences in these areas. I think tangible is the word I really want to focus on. Keep people accountable. It's not just lots of words and sweet notes in someone's books. I've been involved with a movement called Forward Durban, Change the Narrative, who is working alongside who's working alongside me to develop a safe house. I'm just doing one for now for youth and women to come and stay and heal and get away from abusive situations, some of which involve addiction. And I'm not talking about abuse, just physical abuse. I'm talking more about the silent abuse that goes on in homes. Emotional, verbal, and many women who feel like they have to stay because of things like finances. What will differentiate my safe house to other safe houses will be that whilst they are being cared for, we will financially and legally upskill them so that they are truly empowered when they leave the safe house. Then for animals this year, I focused on SACA, which is the South African Animal Cancer Association. I did a fundraiser for them, and we raised 10,000 Rand. That was the fundraiser where we held a colour run powder for the 100 youth that I've been teaching, and then we educated them on how to look after animals back at home. Just basics, because it was 4-year-olds, so you couldn't go into too much depth about animal cancer or anything horrific like that. We just wanted to keep it on how to basically look after your animals at home, and also start developing the idea of how you care for your animals is how you later on in life will care for people. Munich Marais, who heads up SACA, flew down from Joburg to support my event, and I was blessed to have many sponsors donate food, beverages, and then be there on the day, such as Panda Paints, AIFT, Kiba, Busamed, Wallace and Green, IME, and Lincoln Travel Insurance. So I got corporates to sponsor 50 children, and that's how we raise the funds. Today is World Animals Rabies Day, and I encourage the public to make use of mobile rabies clinics in your areas. However, next year is something I want to talk about. I'm focusing and leaning into men's mental wellness, and I want to unfold those layers, giving men safe places to talk about their feelings and to process them with qualified practitioners.
All right. As a wife, mother of 3 daughters, and businesswoman, what message do you hope your journey stands to other women across South Africa?
I think I want women to know that they're never defined by one role alone. We are multifaceted like a diamond, capable of leading in boardrooms, nurturing our families, and pursuing dreams that set our hearts on fire. My journey is a reminder that courage and determination can unlock opportunities, and that every woman is worthy of pursuing her full potential. I've had, as we briefly spoke before this interview, so many incredible opportunities come my way. Just last week, Friday, I was in Cape Town supporting a friend who did a yoga event on the beach in Camps Bay. And just before that, I was given the opportunity to be interviewed by a Brazilian writer who's involved with tourism for Cape Town. I've been asked to be the keynote speaker at an Old Mutual event, which was incredible, about 3 weeks ago. I have been a guest speaker at the Mrs. Curvey International pageant recently, and I'm on the board of uplifts. So, just things like this. And I think it's because it's not that those opportunities weren't there before, but it was that I didn't believe I was worthy of them. And I didn't believe that I could do those things. So once women are given the opportunity to be, develop their self-value and self-worth, I think they are then open to these kind of opportunities.
Mrs. South Africa is about more than beauty. It's about empowerment. What does true empowerment mean to you, and how do you live it in your everyday life?
To me, empowerment means living authentically, um, embracing your worth, and using your influence to uplift others. Empowerment to me means freedom. I live this daily by mentoring young women, leading with integrity in business, and raising my daughters to be strong, compassionate, and confident in their own voices. Empowerment is not just about self-growth. It's about creating ripple effects that benefit others.
Looking ahead, how do you see your role as a Mrs. South Africa 2025 finalist impacting your community and inspiring women who may doubt their own strength and worth?
So I already have seen it impact specific individuals, which has been surprising at first and then just incredibly humbling. To see the support on social media has been, and the messages I get daily has been just incredibly moving for me as an individual. As a finalist, my role is to be a visible reminder that strength comes in many forms, in kindness, resilience, vulnerability, and service. I hope to show women that no matter their background or circumstances, they are capable of greatness. By sharing my story and giving back to my community, I want to inspire women to rise above self-doubt, to claim their worth and step boldly into their own power. And I want to leave this quote with you today. It's by Michelle Obama. She says, "Your success will be determined by your own confidence and fortitude." And that's what I'd like to say to maybe the woman sitting at home who has been at home looking after kids for many years, or the woman who has been stuck in a job that's not necessarily fulfilling her and making her happy.
All right. I have a question for you now in the comments. Are you okay if I open it up to you now?
Sure.
All right. This is from Resh Jitan. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for being a role model and advocate for women. What is your experience when approached by an abused woman or kid? How to address the issue?
Mm. Thank you for that question. So I have, obviously, this is the right platform to speak about it, so I will share here. I have been in an abusive situation with my ex-boyfriend. I was physically abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused in front of other people. So specifically with women, it's something supernatural to get a woman to understand that she doesn't need to stay there. And it's a very psychologically, a very complicated situation. People often want to stay in the abusive situation. So what I do when I know someone's being abused is I try to engage with them, because often they don't want to even engage. They'll say, I'm being abused, but then they don't want to talk about it. Or they just will pretend like it's not going on. So I would link them up with the right people. I've got an amazing counselor who has offered her services, and she's an amazing, amazing lady. I actually stood next to her at the Old Mutual event, and she was one of the keynote speakers. I think it's a lot of support. I would offer my own personal support to her, and network her with the correct people, connect her to the correct people in order for her to eventually see she doesn't deserve to stay in that situation. Her worth is far greater than being unhappy and being abused. She doesn't deserve that. Of course, my go-to is always prayer. So I would pray for her. And I do believe in the power of prayer. So I would try to get her connected to her higher power, whatever that may be for her. I'm non-judgmental. So, I just need people to understand that there is a power greater than themselves. That's my opinion. So that person, that abused woman, can lean on the fact that she's not alone.
All I got to say there, thanks so much for your time and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
You're most welcome.